Please indulge me a few minutes of your time to hear my story. My name is Claudio Guzman. I am currently incarcerated in an Argentine prison. I've been here since November 2014. I have yet to stand trial before a judge, nor face my accusers in court. I have been charged with kidnapping and torture, supposedly committed over 30 years ago. None of the charges are true. I have not been informed when I will have my day in court. Thus I wait, deprived of my freedom, not knowing when I will ever see my loved ones again. My wife has to travel over 200 miles to visit me. I am 69 years old. 30 years ago, I was a police detective. When I retired, my career record was spotless. This was not an easy thing to do at the time because my country was being ripped apart by violent political strife. Many people died or disappeared. The time is called the Dirty War. Even though it ended years ago, the injustice and suffering from it continue to this very day. My present situation began when I happened to come across a news story on the internet that identified me as responsible for crimes against humanity. This article was so poorly written that not only did it say I committed these crimes, but that I was presently dead. I immediately presented myself to the authorities to inform them of the truth. They took down my information and I returned home. I thought this was the end of it, but it was not. Several years later, there was a knock at my door. I opened it to greet security officers and personnel. They presented a warrant for my arrest. It had the wrong address on it, nor were there any charges listed. Surely this was an error or mix-up, I thought. I even offered the men snacks and refreshments while they searched and seized papers and my belongings. It didn't matter to them that the warrant was improperly issued, and thus the evidence inadmissible in court. I was handcuffed and taken away to a nearby airport. Even though our car was parked close to the entrance, I was forced to do a humiliating perp walk, the long way past public onlookers and gawkers. I was thrown in jail and forced to wait 18 days to stand before a judge. A clear violation of the law. When I finally did make a statement in court, there was neither judge nor prosecutor present, only a court stenographer to record it. I could only make my statement against the charges based on what I had read in the newspapers. 6 days later, I was allowed to give a second statement. This time I received a shallow summary of the charges and the names of my accusers. One accuser testified against an entirely different named person than me. The corrupt prosecutor would subsequently change the name to mine to fit his purposes. The other piece of so-called evidence was a note written 30 years ago, which named a Kuman or Kumand as the arresting officer, not my name of Guzman. Further still, it was alleged that I belonged to a special police unit that abducted and tortured opposition militants. I was never in this unit. Every charge in this case is a lie. Thus, I am illegally held and persecuted. I am the wrong man. Today in Argentina, there is an ongoing political jihad to bring to justice all those responsible for the atrocities committed during the war. The government pays victims $200,000 each in reparations. Thus, there is a financial incentive to falsely bear witness. The current administration is fanatical about hunting down any and all those who were in positions of power at the time. They don't care who is caught up in their wide dragnets. I worked my entire career serving and protecting citizens from criminals. Now I am the one being accused. This cruel irony has shaken my faith in the truth. The government is committing a form of psychological terrorism against me and my family. Help us if you can.